Hi there, and welcome to Chord Symbols Explained Part 2. In Part 1, we looked at all of the chord symbols that take place within the octave. Part 2, we're going to look at particularly the ninth chord and all its variations. This is our first extended harmony outside of the octave. So let's jump right in. The F9 is an extension of the F7. The ninth is found a whole tone above the root, so you could count all the way up to 9, up to the octave and plus 1, or just simply look at the root and go up a whole tone and you'll find the ninth every time. Notice that there's no mention of a 7 in there, although the 7 is included in the chord symbol. It is understood that when you play an F9, there should be the presence of a 7 in the chord as well. The F9 chord, our first 5-note chord, starts off on a triad. The 7th is put in, even though it's not mentioned in the chord symbol, because we know that a 9 is an extension of a 7th, or a substitute. So there is the full ninth chord. Obviously, has to be played with 2 hands, although the chord can be played in 1 hand, but that's in my tutorial on the ninths itself. So there is a full picture. The F9 chord. This would be a D9 chord. An E9 chord, F9, the F major 9 chord symbol. Interestingly enough, the major in these parts here does not refer to the chord, because as we know, all chords in popular contemporary music are considered major unless you're told otherwise. So the major refers to what's not even mentioned in the chord symbol, the type of 7th that's being used, which is a major 7th. So the major 9 is an extension of the major 7, and 4 different ways of depicting it. Here's the F major 9 chord, F chord with a major 7 and its ninth. So in this case, the ninth is being supported with a major 7. And as I mentioned, the chord symbol, when they refer to a major 9, they're not saying that the chord is major, because, as I mentioned before, in popular music, everything's major unless you're told otherwise. So the major does refer to this guy here, the major 7th. So here is an F9, there is an F major 9. The difference is day and night. One's passive and the other's active. F9 add 6, or F9/6. I've even seen this, which really isn't the correct way of doing it, but they're all out there anyway. They're all considered the same. So an F9/6, the 9 is an extension of the 6. It has to be an extension of something, either a 7 or a major 7, or in this case, a 6. The F9/6, well, here's my F major 7, but instead of using the major 7, the 9 will be an extension of the 6. And again, these two guys are interchangeable. F9 add 6. Beautiful sounding chord. F minor 9 or F-9, both are the same. It's a F minor 7 chord with an added 9. F minor 9, one of the nicest romantic chords out there, based on an F7 chord with its 3rd flattened and an added 9th. There's the full chord. It has a very delightful sound. F minor 9. F minor 9 add 6, F minor 9/6, F minor 9/6. I've seen all these different ones. These are hopefully not too used, but I've seen them all. Again, I wish we had consistency with chord symbols, but we don't. Meaning that the 9th on the minor chord is supported by a 6. F minor 9 add 6. So here's my F minor, there's my 9, being supported not by the 7th or the major 7th, but by the 6. So F minor 9 add 6. F2 or F add 2. They're both the same chord. You've heard me mention that a ninth must be supported. Well, there are times when a ninth is not supported, and that's why we have the 2. The 2 meaning the second note of the scale, which is also the same note as the 9th. So rather than depicting it as a 9, they call it a 2, which means that there's the presence of a 9, but there is no support system. They used to use this chord symbol F9, and then they put in brackets or something like that, no 7th. That's gone by the way of the dodo bird. They sensibly have called the 9 a 2 when they do not want it to be supported by a 6, a 7th, or a major 7th. Yes, the F2 chord. As I mentioned, talking about the chord symbols, the 2 refers to the 9, unlike the regular 9th chord, which is supported with a 7th or a substitute. This is totally unsupported. So here I have an F chord, and I'm going to just move the root up to the 9. So I'll probably put an F bass down here. It's a great chord to play this low on the piano, where it won't really take a major 7th or a 6, it's too heavy. So it's a lovely sounding chord. F minor 2, F minor dash 2, F minor add 2, or F dash add 2. All the same chords. The same idea as the F2 chord. It's a 9th that's not supported with a minor 3rd. And of course, F minor 2 with no support system. It's my F chord, move the root up to the 9 and make it minor. That's a ring of Young and the Restless. F minor 2, F minor. So there it is, an F minor 2, no support on the 9 with a 7. Now I mentioned that when you call for a chord with a 9th, you don't mention anything about a 7th because it's understood. However, if the 9th is to be altered, and it can be by flattening it or using the symbol -9, all meaning the same thing, then the 7th must come in for clarity. And I'll explain that on the keyboard. The 9th itself, as I mentioned in the chord symbol, can be altered. And I also mentioned that when that happens, so here's my F7 chord, the 9th is going to be supported by the 7th. If I flatten the 9, I'm altering the 9th. Now the 7th, as I mentioned, has to come into the chord symbol for clarity. Now the reason for that is for clarity. Here is my A7 chord, there's my added 9. So that would be an A9 chord. Now if I said an A flat 9, you'd probably think of that chord. But what if I just wanted an A chord with a flatted 9? That's there. So therefore, for clarity, if that's the chord I wanted, I'd have to say A7, flatten the 9. Here it is on F. F9, F7, flat 9. Has a lot of tension. Great chord though. Well, if we can flatten a 9, we can certainly sharpen it. Here are 3 chord symbols that depict that. F7 plus 9. Remember, without the 9, the plus would refer to the 5, but now that the 9 is there, it refers to the 9. F7 sharp 9, that pretty well tells it the way it is, and F7 augmented 9, they're all the same. Yes, if we can flatten the 9, we can certainly sharpen the 9. So here is our F7 chord with the 9th sharpened. Great sounding chord. Used in jazz a lot. That Gershwin loved it so much they've kind of named that after him, the Gershwin 9th. In fact, George didn't really like the 9th that much at all. He liked playing with the sharp 9 and the flat 9, as in sharp 9, flat 9, sharp. Well, that's it for now. Please join me for the final tutorial, Chord Symbols Explained Part 3. There we're going to look at the 11th chord and all its variations, and the top dog, the 13th chord. Until then, bye for now.